Okay, we bring you to a seemingly catastrophic video. This is a short one and it's basically channel filler in between everything else I'm doing. A lot of you who have seen my desk jobs have seen the desk control panel that I designed that's up behind everything else in amongst all the chaos that is my desk. Now recently the little display here I've got that also displays all my channel members' names in the back of it, it suddenly blew one of these things and it was putting out 12 volts on that instead of 5. So I've opened this to find out where the problem is. I have identified it. I'd put a pin connection wrong on the Arduino that's in there. I'd hooked the V in, which is 12 volts, to the 5 volts, and it was pumping 5 volts out. Anyway, while we're here, I'm going to take one of these little ESP-12F relay cards, and I'm going to get it to flick a couple of things, like turn some lights on and off, and fans and stuff like that. Namely at random, so while I'm away it looks like somebody's still here. Anyway, that necessitated me pulling out all these thumb screws and remove everything. For the moment, I have some power moving across over through these two wires here, and these four go to some switches, which I'll hook to the relays. In any case, we're moving along, but I thought I'd film this halfway through the project. So you've missed all the noisy and annoying bits that are probably not going to help you on that side. So we'll move on from there. Oh, and before you ask, yes, there are fuses on everything here. There is a fuse box right over the back corner there, and everything comes in through a plug down here. So this is all 12 volt stuff. It's not dangerous voltage. There is mains voltage connections for these, but they're done through remote control power points over the back. There's no mains voltage in here, so don't freak out. All right, let's just check that this does indeed turn on. Yes, we have connection. Cool. And it's running a test pattern. That's good. Alright, now I'm using an Arduino as a programmer. There's some shenanigans including loopbacks on this. I will link below a video on how to connect those two together. I've already done one. This is based on the ESP-12F. Right, I had to go back to my own video to work out how to program this, but I found my original programmer here, and this should be programmed as an ESP-8266 generic module. At the moment it's not connecting to the COM port. I might have something connected wrong. I've got to go check that again. Tell me it's not going to work now. Success at last. Okay, so we have things now working on that switch. This turns on, relays cycle at random between 2 and 10 minutes, turning the desk lights on and the inlet fan on, which I can override with the buttons. Yes, that is still working. I had to listen. We're just going to let it test for a minute. These are the switch contacts. We're going to hook them up somehow, probably using a pin header. And then we should be good. Things should be able to be just flick auxiliary 2 switch, and things should just operate at random then. Okay, we're nearly done. We have it hooked up. We can turn that off. So we can turn on, which will roll the dice. In this case, it didn't turn anything on. If we turn off again, re-roll the dice, so to speak. Let's turn the inlet fan on. Let's re-roll the dice again. Let's turn both the inlet fan on and this on. If we leave it long enough, it should turn on and off randomly. I've made a connector here out of a 4-pin header and a bit of heat shrink. That should connect nicely. We're going to tuck this in the corner now, and hopefully we should be alright. Alright, I've got things loosely tucked up the back here. That power wire might get in the way at some point. This is held in with blue tack, so I might have to do something better than that. But it should do the job for now. Right, now we've got to put everything back in. This is my mate Zim on the voice chat there, having a discussion about blue tack. He definitely doesn't like it. Any case, I have a bunch of thumb screws here. Put one in to hold this in. I changed from traditional screws to thumb screws a little while back because I'm in this all the time. Now, we will, before we do too many thumb screws, we'll test things because it's like putting the case screws on a computer. Let's go auxiliary 2. Things come on at random. Re-roll the dice. Yep, it's working. Let's put the thumb screws in. See how we go. The time frame of this should be between 2 and 10 minutes. Right, so I'm sitting here just waiting for it to test, and the lights did go off. The inlet fan came on. It appears to be working properly. Now, a couple of quick tips if you're going to program this. The things I forgot to mention in my previous video, that if I've done things right, should be linked at the bottom. These ESP-12Fs are programmed as an ESP-8266 generic module. That's the board you choose. And you can use an ESP, an Arduino as ISP. And there's all sorts of tutorials on various other YouTube channels on how to do that. I think there is a really old one in my collection. I don't know if I can find it right now. But yes, that is one thing I had to do. I will admit to using ChatGPT, so AI, to write my code for this. It was a very simple one. Probably could have figured it out myself, but I'm just lazy today. I needed something really quick and easy. In any case, this does seem to be working quite nicely. The lights can be overridden by flicking these switches, at least in the on position. And of course, if I need everything off, I can just turn off here. It's across the normally open relay contact, so it will drop the relay open and reset once I turn that off. So fairly easy, and if I'm not here and my missus is here, the financial manager, she can come and flick that relay off, and it'll just all turn everything off. In any case, we'll see you in the next one. I hope this was a quick and interesting one. We'll go from there.